Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, warm greetings from Team Dentistchannel.Online. It's a pleasure to have you as our esteemed participants for a very interesting webinar on the topic beginning your digital smile design journey. We hope you all are doing well and are safe and sound with your family members. We don't know who you are, and for that, I quickly want you to mention your full name and the city where you reside. Come on, I want each and every one of you to quickly mention your full name and the city where you reside in the chat box. Let's do a quick introductory session. My name is Ruben and I'm from Mumbai, India.
Hey, Ruben, I'm here from Madrid.
Hola, Dr. Luke, and welcome. Hello, Dr. Ayushi. Hello. Welcome. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, warm greetings from Team Dentistchannel.Online. We hope you all are ready and excited for this webinar, because after the webinar, I'm going to quickly make a special announcement for each and every one of you. For that, I want you to stay tuned, enjoy the webinar. Very quickly, I'd like to give you a short introduction about our speaker, the most talented and the very versatile Dr. Luquen de Arbeloa. Dr. Luquen de Arbeloa was born in Caracas, Venezuela. Dr. Luquen obtained his Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from Universidad Central de Venezuela. After he completed his bachelor's degree, he became an associate professor at the chair of dental aesthetics of this university. During that time, he was elected as the secretary of the Metropolitan Board of Dentistry. After moving from Caracas to Madrid, he completed his specialty and obtained a master's degree in prosthesis, implant prosthesis, and dental aesthetics from the Universidad Europea de Madrid. Dr. Arbeloa has developed interest in the field of smile design. Due to his experience in several advanced trainings in the discipline, he started his steps in the digital smile DSD Planning Center since its inception, where half of his time was spent designing smiles in 3D and the rest of the time in private practice. After 5 years, he has become an important member of the DSD company as the DSD Education Strategy Director, dedicated to giving training around the world on the DSD concept, and Dr. Christian Coachman's, the DSD founder's right hand in the area of education. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Luquen. It's an absolute pleasure to have you as an esteemed speaker, and I request you to kindly start with the much-awaited Power Pack session on the topic beginning your DSD journey. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Luquen, live.
Thank you, Ruben. It's a pleasure. Thank you for these nice introductions. Made me feel a little bit weird with that so powerful intro. So thank you so much for this opportunity to be here in this side of their screen. And thank you for all the people that is already connected with us and all of us to share a little bit about what is DSD. Ruben, so I want to start. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to stop me. I prefer to answer some questions when I'm showing some slides, because surely it's going to be related to the topic. So feel free to stop me anytime you want, okay? So I'm going to be here. I want to read in the chat the questions. So I'm going to be looking to all the screens. So
Definitely,
one more time,
thank you very much.
Thank you for this. Thank you to Mark, for it was the connection between DentistChannel.Online and me. So I really thank you for this invitation. So I want to start first talking about the DSD. No, I think it's going to be a basic, it's like a big picture about what is DSD. It's not easy to explain in a few words what is. So I want to try to explain in this hour, trying to show all the different part of the DSD concept. So as I said, my name is Luquen de Arbeloa. I am the Education Strategy Director from Digital Smile Design Company. I'm now in charge of all the educational part. And nowadays I have not practiced. I'm not working daily with patients. I have not a private practice now. I have no time for that. Now my job is move all around the world giving courses and creating and developing new strategies to create a better and more consistent courses with Dr. Christian Coachman. So let's start to talk about the moments where we are now. No, we always talk about that we are in a moment of disruption. No, it's a moment where many things are changing. Nowadays, with this strange situation of the world, with this pandemic, we saw many of that things are changing. No, consumers' behaviors are changing, the companies are changing, the solutions are changing. So we need, in dentistry, need to change. We need to be ready for the things that are upgrading or are improving. So we need to change too. So the first, before I start, I want to make you a question. You know that everybody all around the world, courses, webinars, congresses, people talk about digital dentistry. So the first question is, should we switch to digital dentistry or not? And maybe if we create here and this type of question, maybe it's going to be very easy, like, yes, let's change, no? But when you start to think a little bit more deeply, you start to have some doubts. For example, if I am already very successful, why I should change to digital dentistry? If I'm doing very well, if I have a lot of patients, my patients love me, I have all my scale booked, why I have to change for something that I'm doing very well now? We know that the return of investment in the digital technology is not easy. And we know that we have a learning curve that is so high. So should we switch to digital dentistry? And as I said, I'm sure that many of you, if you think very deeply, you have some doubts. But I want to help you with this question. And for me, the answer is very clear. And it's yes. It's not an option. We have to do it. It's the moment to do it if you are not already done it before. And the reason is because the digital dentistry is good for the patient, it's good for the team, it's good for the treatment, it's good for the business, it's good for everything. And I want to prove you why this change is so important. First, I want to remember you some very nice story. Do you remember this company, this brand, Nokia? I'm sure that many of you had a Nokia in the 90s or at the beginning of the 2000s. And the reason is that Nokia was the first company that created a cell phone network. And for example, my first cell phone was a Nokia. I remember perfectly. I remember the game, the snake game that we spent hours playing that. But I take that information from this magazine that's called, the name is the 50 Examples Corporation that failed in innovation. And try to think in that. If you I make you a question and you try to think, where is Nokia now? Maybe you think that disappear. And the reason is that it's not disappear. Now it's in a different business. It's more related to the network in a different level. But in the cell phones, in the cell phone areas, almost disappear. What was the reason? This one. In 2007 appeared this guy named Steve Jobs. I'm sure that you know who is that guy. And he launched this device, the new iPhone. It was a phone without a keyboard. And until 2000, Nokia was the company #1 in the world in cell phone technology. But in 2007, this company appears, and what happened with Nokia started to go down the next day. The reason, Nokia felt very comfortable. They felt that they was the #1. So they always play in the comfort zone, in the safe place, safe area. So they don't take risk to create new software, to develop new technologies. They said, if we are the #1, let's keep doing what we are doing, and we're always gonna be the #1. And then this guy, Steve Jobs, appears, present this phone, and the next day, the Nokia action starts to go down. So what I want to say with this, one of the reasons, the option of incorporating new technologies is actually it's not an option, it's a survival need. Imagine that you are Nokia now, and as I said, you are doing very well, your patients love you, but what about this tomorrow opens a new dental clinic next to you with all this new technology? You're gonna disappear. This new dental office maybe is gonna be Apple, and you're going to be Nokia. So the first question is, do you want to be Nokia or do you want to be Apple? That's why we need to always be ahead. We need to be in the top of the wave. That's why we need to go to digital technology. It's not an option. It's a survival mode. And as I said, the behavior of the companies, of the consumers are changing. So we need to be always ahead, and we need one step ahead. But what's mean do a digital dentistry? I always talk about this topic because I think it's very important and very relevant. There are so many conferences, so many lectures that talk about digital versus analog, the traditional impression versus the analog impression. And it's completely crazy. No makes sense to create that type of comparison. You cannot compare a traditional analog impression with an intraoral scanning. You cannot compare a veneer or a crown analog made with a millet one. They're not playing the same league. If you try to analyze in that way, you're never going to change to digital technology. Because if you start to analyze, for example, in the impression field, traditional impressions take you maybe 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, traditional impression. And then the companies told you that if you have an intraoral scanner, now you can do it faster. You can do it in 7 or 6 minutes. And then you say, you take the math and you say, okay, intraoral scanner is going to be 6 minutes. Analog impression is going to be 10. So that's mean for 4 minutes per impression, I'm going to invest $30,000 for intraoral scanner. Never. No, I'm not going to do it. No, makes sense. That's why you cannot evaluate in that way. The big reason, the big idea, the way to take advantage of technology is analyzing if taking advantage to bring more patients to your clinic because you have this technology. And of course, the extra part that is the developing and the treatment planning execution. I want to explain that a little bit better in the next slide. Let's divide the treatment planning in 3 different moments. Before case acceptance, and after case acceptance. That's mean before the case acceptance, it's a possible patient. It's not your patient yet because you need to explain all your treatment and then the patient is going to accept or not the treatment. So this is pre. Then you present the treatment, the patient accepts. When he say yes or she say yes, then is when you can say my patient, and this is post case acceptance. The truth is that almost a huge percentage of dentistry in the world, they use the digital technology post case acceptance. So they try to compare the analog impression with the traditional impression. So everything that they do in the analog way after case acceptance, they are transforming in the digital way. That's one of the main reasons why the digital dentistry did not grow so fast, because people start to invest at the beginning for very expensive milling machines, very expensive intraoral scanners, and they compare that. They say, okay, it's going to take a little bit, maybe few minutes less taking this impression, but the cost of this machine is so high, then I need to teach my team how to use it. Then I need to find a lab that understand how is my information. And in the end, they just leave that intraoral scanning in a corner and they continue doing analog dentistry. The reason is that they are not taking advantage of this technology. The main way, the way to take more advantage is pre-case acceptance. And I'm going to explain this very, very detailed. This is a summary about all the patient digitalization in the full process from the first moment until the end. So when you're taking the acquisition, when you're taking photos, when you're managing your office, when you're doing the patient documentation, when you are sharing all your information with your team members, even with the patient, with the team, when you present to the patient, in all that phases, you are using technology. You are a dental dentist. It's not necessary to have an intraoral scanner or a milling machine to say that you are digital dentistry. If you have a phone, you have an iPhone, for example, you can say that you are digital dentistry because it's more than enough to start the journey. So there are many different phases where the technology is there, but we're going to divide in these 2 moments. Everything that is pre-case acceptance is all the strategies that we are going to use to plan and motivate the patient. And everything that all the techniques that we are using post-case acceptance is for implementation and execution. So usually The big, huge number of dentistry take care about this, implementation and technical execution. The reason is that in the university, that's what the doctor teach us, how to do dentistry. No one teach us how to do marketing. No one teach us how to make a correct planning. No one teach us how to create strategies, how to communicate with our patients. No one teach us how to create a very brainstorming and interdisciplinary treatments. That's why we need to spend more time in pre-case acceptance, because if we don't have this part, if the patient did not accept our treatment, we're never going to have the opportunity to do dentistry. So if I'm very good in this area and I'm very bad in this area, my business is not going to work. I can be the best dentist in the world, but if I don't have patients, I'm dead. No business. But if I'm very good with the planning and the motivation, and my patients accept the treatment, then the business starts to grow. So everything that is related to pre-case acceptance is related to plan better and present better treatments to increase the case acceptance. And everything that is related to post-case acceptance is to create a better maintenance and, of course, better execution of dentistry. So, as I said, this is a moment when we define who we are. This pandemic, this virus that is all around the world, changed many things. The way that we are communicating with the doctors, the way that the patients are looking for information. Now there are so many appointments that are completely digitally. Now the patients are connecting to the offices by Zoom like this. They make like a first analysis in online. So we need to be ready for these moments, and we need to be in that situation because we know that it's going to change. They're going to define the future of our clinic. So when you're thinking in your clinic, you need to think in what makes you special in the eyes of your consumer. And I always use this slide in all my courses, and it's not an easy question. When I present this slide and I start to ask to each one of them, just few of them, almost no one knows exactly to tell me why you are special. Imagine that I'm a patient. I think all the majority, the big number of the attendants are from India. Imagine that I moved to India and I'm looking for a dentist. And you need to convince me to go to your office. So why should I go to your office or to your office or to your office? You need to convince me. And the way to convince me is because you need to know why you are special. And you need to have something special, because now the patients are going to be very delicate to define where they want to go. They're going to analyze your web. They're going to analyze your comments. They're going to analyze your facilities. They're going to analyze the quality of your treatments. They want to see the before and after cases before take the decision if they want to go to your clinic or not. So we need to be ready for that. That's why when we talk about digital smile design, it is not only about the final part of the execution of the treatment. We are thinking at the beginning, that moment when the patient just wake up and decide to go to the dentist. In that moment, you need to be there. You need to be prepared. Your website needs to be prepared. Your social media need to be prepared. So you need the first step, or the first homework that I want to list for you guys is try to think why your clinic is more special. And usually we say like, my team is so good because we have a very nice doctor, because we use technology, and try to explain that to someone that have no clue about dentistry. And you think my team is so good, but the other doctors are gonna say, my team is better than yours. I use technology, I use too. My clinic is beautiful. Look at the photo of my clinic is better. So we need to be very clear what is special in us, and we always need to be ready to expose, to present that to a possible patient. And this is related to efficiency and differentiation. Is the key in the new market. The differentiation is everything that is related to be special, and efficiency is everything that is related to make it better on faster the different treatment. For example, when you are thinking in intraoral scanner, if you think in efficiency, maybe you're never going to take the decision to go for an intraoral scanner. It's the comparison that I said: analog impression versus digital impression. Analog impression 10 minutes, expense $10. Digital impression is going to take 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less, but I need to pay 30,000 for the intraoral scanner. Then I need to pay a monthly fee for the software. Then I need to learn. And then you say, no, makes sense. Inefficiency, I'm never going to spend in an intraoral scanner. But when we talk about differentiation, everything changed. What about if I have an intraoral scanner and I create a huge advertisement everywhere that I using an intraoral scanner? Intraoral scanner is better for you as a patient because we know that we hate that material in our mouth going to our throat. So in my clinic, you are not going to have this problem because I have this machine. This is an intraoral scanner. It's the last technology in dentistry and it's the best of the world. And that starts to bring more patients for me. So now in this moment is when you want to say intraoral scanners make sense. Of course, we're going to use in the dental treatment, in the normal part. But if we compare just, or we take the decision just in that part of the treatment, the post-treatment, maybe it's going to be so hard to take that decision. If we compare in the pre-case acceptance, there's nothing that can compare with this. And for sure, you are going to go ahead and going to start to invest in this type of technology. The three main challenges in the modern dentistry are this. The first one is delivering consistently and beautiful smile. That's something that it's very hard, you know. I'm a dentist specializing in prosthesis and aesthetic dentistry, and I know so that the hard that it is the communication with the labs. Sometimes they send you a beautiful cases, incredible cases, perfect, that fit at the first moment, but sometimes not. Sometimes you receive veneers or crowns that are not perfect, that doesn't fit exactly or ideally, and then you need to send back. And one case, it's a 10, it's beautiful. The second case, it's not so good. Then you receive a beautiful one, and then you receive a very bad one. So that's one of the big problems of the dentistry is that the consistency in the result. That is something that with the modern dentistry is completely under control. If we follow all the steps, now the technology is completely ready to create. Following this step, you can have always a constantly beautiful result. The second challenge is the interdisciplinary dentistry, is the efficient team communication, diagnosis, and treatment planning. It's so hard to diagnose a case in the analog way. You have an X-ray here, you have the patient story here, you have some printed photo here, you have the notes somewhere, and then you need to bring all that information, try to analyze, and then you say, I do it later. It's so hard. And then if you want to share that information with another college, another dentist, or another different specialties, how you can want to share all that information. That is another challenge that with the digital dentistry is so easy. You with a click, you can share X-rays, you can share CBCT, you can share a design, 2D, 3D, you can see the mouth, you can see the bite, you can see the face, you can see movement, you can simulate, you can create, you can take in, take out, intrusion, extrusion. You can do whatever you want only with a click. So the treatment planning and the team communication is going to be easier because it's easier to see all that images. And the third part is emotional dentistry, is to create a perceived value through unique experience. And we know that we are, as a modern consumers, we love the experience. We always are looking for experience in all around. It's not only in dentistry. The experience are related to hotels, travels, places, restaurant, and we always analyze that. When we are going to a restaurant, we go to the internet, we take a look, we find the restaurant, we read some comments, we see what is the best, the specialty of the restaurant, and then we go there. And when you go there, the restaurant is perfect, the environment is correct, the sound, it's ideal. It's not only about the food, it's all the experience that is around that. So that's another challenge of the modern dentistry, because the modern clients are ready for that. So dentistry needs to follow what the clients are looking for. So this is the intro, and now I explain you why or how DSD is part of this. So the first question is, what is DSD? And as I said, this is not an easy question. Even for us, it wasn't easy to define what is DSD. We need to, we send all together, we sit to try to find the perfect word to define, to explain what is DSD. And when somebody asks you, what is DSD? You need to answer with another question. And the question is, what are you talking about? You're talking about the methodology, or you're talking about the company? You're talking about the app? What are you talking about exactly about DSD? And if you are talking about the methodology is everything that related to the ideas. Is what Christian was explaining from 10 years ago. It's the key, is the core of DSD. And the company was built just to make sure that people can apply the methodology. It doesn't mean that you need the company to do DSD. And that's something that I want to emphasize. If you want to do DSD, you can do it by yourself. You don't need us. If you really understand the ideas and you learn very well the methodology, you can do DSD by yourself. You don't need us. But if you think you don't have the softwares, you don't have the knowledge, or maybe you don't have time to apply to all your patients, we're always going to be there. The company is going to be there with some products to help you to improve and to apply all of this. When we talk about the methodology of the DSD company is this: design, plan, present, and perform. So at the beginning of the DSD, the problem was here. Let's say that the curve started to grow very fast. DSD was like this, and suddenly it started to flat. What was the reason? The communication between the present and the perform was broke. That means we create a beautiful designs in 2D in Keynote for the ones that did DSD at the beginning. We call the old-fashioned DSD. We create a beautiful designs, then we plan. This is very important. We always need to think in design first and then in plan. If we think in plan, then it's going to limitate the design. So that's the first thing that we need to understand. The first step, the step number one, is design. Create the perfect smile of a patient. And then you want to analyze how you can do it or how you can make it happen. That's going to be the plan. That's why we always start with that. The truth is that in dentistry, doctors teach us that we need to plan and then we design. That's the reason why sometimes the aesthetic and the functional part is not matching, because that was a mistake in that way. So step one, design, facially guided, using the face, create the lines, analyze all the big picture, create an emotion analysis, create that design. After that, we plan how we're going to achieve that result that we plan. And after that, we create our script, we create our treatment plan, and we present it to the patient. When we present, the patient accepts, and then we go to perform. It's exactly the same steps as 10 years ago. The big difference is here in the perform. Now, everything that we present is exactly what we perform. And that was something that in the past wasn't happening, because it was completely analog and was very hard for the technician try to repeat what they did in WhatsApp, in the wax, repeat it in the ceramic, do it exactly matching, and then the patient got not completely happy. So that was like a problem in that the bridge was broken in that way. So now with the digital technology, now the workflow is completely all together. And I want to show you some cases and what's the power of DSD now. So if we want to summarize what is DSD with some concepts, some quotes, you can say that it's a concept to improve your efficiency and differentiation using technological and communicational strategies. So improve your efficiency and differentiation. Why? Because you need to be different to catch more patients. And when you have more patients, you want to use the technology to continue differentiation, to plan better, to design better, to have a better communication with your team, to communicate better with the patient, to the patient approve, and then you create this final treatment exactly following the initial plan. So this is the summary about what is DSD. This is a schema that summarizes everything. As you see, it's a little bit hard to understand when you see all these photos. I'm just gonna present you very fast because in 1 hour it's impossible to explain all the DSD concept. But the first part is all related to marketing. It's just to have a presence in social media. You have a very nice website. So when a patient has the idea to go to the dentist, you always need to be there. You need to be appear as the first option. Then is how the environment is going to be in your clinic. So when the patient arrives, they're going to have a good experience. As I said, if I go to internet because I'm looking for a restaurant and the restaurant, the website is beautiful, it's incredible. And then when I arrive to the restaurant, it's horrible, it's not so beautiful, the smell is not correct, the environment, the lighting is not the ideal, then maybe I say, well, it's not as I look in the advertisement. So always need to match. If you are doing a very nice advertisement, you need to take care of your facilities. And then is when we go inside the clinical part. The first appointment is one of the key part in dentistry. For me, it's one of the most important, because if we don't do a very good first appointment, we're never going to have the opportunity to implement or to treat the patient. So the first appointment is the most important part in our workflow. If we spend time in the first appointment and the patient say yes, then we can do all the treatment and we can take all the time that we want. But if we do the first appointment very fast, maybe we lose the opportunity that the patient accept the treatment. So the case acceptance is gonna decrease. We have this in the middle is what we call the interconsultancy. It's the process where we are analyzing all the files, all the information to create the perfect treatment plan. And in the second appointments, we are ready to present. So first appointment is information acquisition. It's what we call patient digitalization. Second appointment, it's the interconsultancy. It's where we are going to talk with all the specialists, is where we are going to create the smile design, is where we are going to create the perfect treatment plan, and we're going to prepare everything for the second appointment. Second appointment, patient arrive, and is where we are going to go to the emotional and treatment plan journey. I want to explain that a little bit more deeply then. And if we did a very good job here, then is when the patient want to say, I want it. I want to accept the treatment. So we need to invest time. I'm doing very well in this process. And when the patient say yes, then we can do dentistry. How? We need to do a guided dentistry, because everything that I showed, or the treatment plan that I showed to my patient, needs to be done exactly as I present. So these two parts needs to be connected 100%. And if everything is correct, then the post-treatment is going to be beautiful. Your patient is going to become a fan and is going to be your best promoter. So let me explain you this part that is the second appointment. That is one of the key parts. Is the moment when the patient say yes or no. If the patient say yes, awesome. We have a new client. We have a new patient, and we can invest more time, and the patient is going to pay us. If the patient say no, you lose your time, you lose the opportunity, and you need to find a way to convince again that is so hard, or you need to find or bring more patients. So this is one more time all the workflow. This is the complete digitalization of the dental treatment. And as I said, the key part is the case acceptance, and we need to spend time in this moment. If we do it in the right way, we need to try to find this wow effect. It's the moment when the patient is like, wow, this is what I need. How it's going to be that? The perfect first appointment is like this. We just need to take 5 photos, 1 video, and 1 STL. You can do it directly scanning your patient, or you can take analog impression and send to your lab, and the lab can digitalize. What's mean? You don't need to invest in so expensive equipment if you don't want. If you can, go for it, because it's going to be a beautiful differentiation factor. If you are starting, if you have a phone, you can take this photo with a phone in the right way. 5 photos, 1 video, analog impression sent to your lab. The lab digitalize that. Then you use the outsourcing service, and they can do all the treatment planning for your case. I will show you this too in the next slides. And then when you receive this plan, it starts to come the emotional process. The emotional process is 2 things. Is the mock-up, that is the emotional link, even the patient can see how it's going to be the final result before it starts, so it's completely reversible. And the technical explanation, it's how I'm going to do that process to get that final outcome. The mock-up, this is one of the key part of DSD. People think that DSD is a mock-up, and the mock-up is just a piece of the puzzle. The mock-up is just the tool that we use to motivate the patient, to show that before and after, so the patient can say, wow, that's what I want. I want to do that treatment. It's beautiful. I have so many cases, different options that we are doing, some boys, some girls. This is complete digitally. I will explain how this workflow works. And this is what we use to motivate the patient to go ahead with the treatment. And the reason is that most of the decisions that we made in our life are guided by emotions. So it's true, we need to work with emotions. That's why the mock-up is key. But it's not just the mock-up, it's the way that we use the mock-up. We need to place it. We can never, ever show the mock-up with a mirror. Never. It's one of the first mistakes that the doctors do. The way to show the mock-up to the patient is like this: photos, before and after, in a complete facial face. Never take macro photos. It's one of the second mistakes that the doctors do is take macro photos to a mock-up. Mock-up is just a motivational. It's just look at the photo before and after. That's how you are look now. This is how you are going to look. So that's the only way that we're going to use the mock-up. And after that, we need to go in a technical explanation to make the patient understand why we're doing all this. So this is when we're going to use all these type of files to explain to the patient what we want. One image said more than 100 words. So it's so important to explain this. I love this photo because it's so easy to explain to the patient what we want to do. This is a planning for an ortho case. So look here how clear it is. I can explain to my patient. I need to go 1.7 millimeter up to intrusion, and then we need to make some veneers to make a little bit longer. Look here, we need to move a little. Photo is better. You can see the position of the lateral. Maybe we need a little bit out. Maybe we need to rotate this cuspid to be in the right position. So it's very clear to explain to the patient the treatment using this type of images. So we have to, it's mandatory. Now the patient are looking for this. Usually patients accept the treatment guided by trust. They trust you. When you explain, no, I want to do veneers, a crown, you're going to look beautiful. And the patient like, really? I say, yes, trust me. No, I don't want to trust you. I want to see it. And this is how we are going to present. You look like this. This is the plan. You want to start like this. That's going to be your final result. That's what you want. We say, yes, go ahead. No surprise. Everything is under control. The patient say like, I'm not sure. Maybe I want a little bit longer central. No problem. Let's make it a little bit longer. So we make it longer like this. Yes, that's what I want. And you start to go ahead with your treatment. That was an ortho case. This is an implant case that is exactly everything is planning by the face. After the plan over the face, we create that ideal treatment. After the perfect prosthesis, we define the ideal position of the implants, and we create a document that explains exactly step by step how to use this guide. This is what we call the click guide. I will show you a little bit more in the next slide, how is the process with the click guide. But as you see, everything is under control. And that's what we need to show to the patient. The patient needs to feel confident that the doctor has the control. And this is the power of these images. Cases for perio, where we can create we have the perio analysis. We can analyze where is the bone, where is the enamel, where is the cement, where is the crown, where is the bone, what is the thickness of the bone, where is the gum. And with all that information, we can take the decision. We are going to do a crown lengthening with osteotomy, without osteotomy. All the information is going to be there. And we are going to show this as a support to the patient. I'm not going to say to my patient, I need to cut your gum. That's all. Why? Because you're going to look nice. No, because this. Look here. Look where is your bone. Look where is your enamel. So we need to cut this area because look the face. Aesthetically, you show that part. So all the information is going to be there. So it's going to be very easy to present to make the patient understand. Exactly the same with the prosto cases that need veneers or crowns. Everything is guided by the face. We create an ideal design. We create some reduction guides, and everything is going to be guided. So until now, this is the information that we use to present the cases. All this information I want to show in the second appointment. So I'm going to place the mock-up, and when the patient says like, wow, this is what I want, I'm going to say, yes, I know that is what you want. It's beautiful, but take a look at this. This is the process how I'm going to make it happen. I will explain all this step by step. So why are so important the images? We need to speak less and show more. That's the key. Beautiful photos, huge screen where the patient can see, almost the patient can analyze themselves. So we need to speak less and show more. Beautiful photos. Not imagine me in this moment trying to give you this conference without a slides. Imagine that you are looking only to me explaining with my hands. It's not easy to understand, but when you see these images, it's very clear. It's exactly how we need to work with our patients. So this is the emotional, this is the way how we present the treatments to the patients. This is what we call the journey, the presentation journey. The first one is the emotional journey with the mock-up. Then is the problems journey, where we show all the problems that the patient have. Then we present the solutions, or that technical slide where we show how we're going to make it happen in the right way. And then is the financial journey. I have not too much time to explain all this process in one step. So if you want to learn more about the emotional presentation, here is a link that you can use. If you go there, you can use that link, and you can have access to a free template of the emotional presentation. I just paste the link in the WhatsApp group, in the chat group, if you want. If you have your phone, if you're looking into a computer, you can scan the QR code, but the link is in the chat. This is a free download guide that you can use to create your perfect emotional presentation. As I said, it's the key part for the case acceptance. You can be the best doctor in the world. You can be the best one making preps, taking impression, placing implants, or whatever you want. But if you don't know how to present in the right way, maybe you don't want to have the option to have case acceptance. So we need to invest in this. We need to be clear. We need to spend time. We need to understand this type of presentation. We need to invest in good quality images to patient accept, and then go to the treatment planning. Then the patient say, yes, I love it. That's what I want. And then it's the part that we are going to use the hat of dentist when we start the treatments and start to do the dental part. For example, this is the ortho case. This is the planning. We receive the planning. We carry the treatment plan. The treatment plan for this patient was Invisalign treatment with aligners. Then we decide to do a bleaching and a crown lengthening. So we create all presentation. We are ready for the second appointment. The patient arrives. We place the mock-up, and we present the mock-up like this. We put it. This is the patient with the mock-up. We present the before and after. This is very important. This is all. This is a strategy how to make all this presentation. You can see it in the link that I share with you. You can see that before and after. Look there. Look how beautiful is the mock-up. There's no way that the patient said no when they look at this result. So we need to invest time on that. And then the patient accepts, say, yes, this is what I want. And then we start to create the case. This is a case for a very good friend, a doctor from here, Spain, from Seville, Dr. Jesus Crack. And he sent this case to Invisalign. Then he received the aligners. He started the treatment. He placed all the aligners. I think the number was the 18 aligners. I'm not sure exactly how many aligners was. Upper, lower, the tooth in the right position, and then we have the crown lengthening guide. It's we call the double crown lengthening guide. It's a guide where you can use to everything that is inside this window. We can cut is the soft tissue that we need to take out, and everything that is outside of the window is the area where the bone should be. So everything is guided. There is no surprise. There is no guessing. I just need to follow the steps. I know I have some questions here, so don't worry. At the end, I want to answer all your questions. Okay, I'm reading. I'm still there. So this is the double crown lengthening guide that we use. And look here. This is one of my beautiful. This is one of my favorite slides because we have the initial patient. Then we create a design with the DSD app, a smile simulation. We transform that in a 3D design. We send that into the planning center. They transform it in a 3D. We place the mock-up and we present to the patient. The patient say yes. We place the Invisalign, bleaching, crown lengthening, and this was the final result. So look at the predictability. Everything that I did in 2D is going to be exactly in the 3D if I follow the steps. Let's take a look at case, implant case. exactly the same. We send all the files to the planning centers, all the information, photos, video, 5 photos, 1 video, the scan. We ask for implant planning. They create all the perfect planning. They send me all the guys. In this case, if you have an edentulous patient, it's not easy to place a mock-up. That's why we need to use this type of prosthesis. It's a print full prosthesis. It's a 2 different resins, a pink and a white one. We bond everything together, and we're going to use that to motivate the patient. So we want to place, take the photos, patient see the before and after, and say, wow, this is what I want. And after that, we start to execute the planning. This is the guides. As I said, we are in the era of guided dentistry. Everything must be guided. So we can create guides to everything. This is what the planning center developed for you. There's no problem with what brand of implants you are using. The planning center is ready to use any implants brand, any guided surgery box. You just need to tell us what is the brand that you are using, and we are customizing your guides for you. This is all the guides that we're going to receive. This is the treatment planning. We place the first guide, then we place the implant guide, we place the implants, then we fit the prosthesis. Everything is completely guided. Even the prosthesis fit exactly in the same base guide. That is one of the magic of this type of treatment. It's not about how to guide the implant. It's more about how to guide the final prosthesis, because that's what the patient are looking for. Patient, when they come to our clinics, they are not looking for implants. They are not looking for veneers. They are not looking for ortho. They are looking for a final outcome. They're looking for a perfect, beautiful, functional smile. So that's what we need to deliver to the patient. So the key of the fascially guided implantology is this. For me, it's not the implant, it's the prosthesis, because the prosthesis is going to be exactly in the right position, guided by the face, guided by the bone, and completely beautiful aesthetic. After that, we can scan, we create a full, complete monolithic zirconia milled. So this file is exactly the same than this. The only difference is the material, but the file is the same. It's the same textures, it's the same size, it's exactly the same. The only thing that changed is the material, because at the beginning was a resin, printed resin. In this provisional was a milled PMMA. And now we milled one more time, but now it's the final prosthesis. In this case, it's a full zirconia. And here the result one more time. In 5 appointments, we can have the patient with a transitional prosthesis. We just took out, we create the 2D design, 3D design, we place the implants, immediate loading. This is the day of the surgery after the immediate loading. And this is the final prosthesis with zirconia. Look here, looks almost the same. No surprise, everything is under control. This is the magic of the digital dentistry now. Let's see a case of perio. Exactly the same process. We start to design, we explain to the patient, look here, we need to modify here your gum, we need to cut a 1.98. We compare that with the bone, we compare that with the crown, we compare that with the junction between the enamel, the crown, and the cement. We take all that decision, we decide to do a crown lengthening osteotomy. So we place the mock-up before and after. We create the guide. It's a printed guide. So you as a dentist, you can print by yourself, or we can print for you. Working with the planning center, you always going to have that option. We can do only the planning and send you the files, and you can print or manufacture. Or if you want, we can print or manufacture and send you to your clinic. So we work with all the world. We receive cases from all around the world, from China, from Australia, from India, from Venezuela, from Dubai, from all around the world. We receive all the files, create the plannings, and send back the designs. This is the process about how to use the double crown lengthening guide. It's a beautiful case done by Jordanis brothers that was done in a course in Brazil. And in this case, it's very easy. You just need to follow the steps. Just place the guides, cut everything that is in the internal area, take out the guide, open the flap, place the guide again, coat the bone following the external part, and you have a result like this, 100% under control, no surprises. Initial situation, 2D design with the app, 2D is transforming a 3D, 3D is transforming a mock-up, and final result after the healing. And the last case that I want to show you is a prosthesis, a veneer case. Same process, 5 photos, 1 video sent to the planning center. Planning center create this beautiful 3D design. We present to the patient accepts, and then we place the mock-up, initial situation, patient with the mock-up. Then the planning center develop many guides to guide or treatment. They develop this type of guides. This is the prep guides and the calibration and quality control guides, where everything is 100% under control. Everything is gonna be guided. So one more time, no surprises. Digital technology, it's ready to guide us. So the patient needs to understand that now everything is under control. I don't want to cut more enamel than what I want. I can control exactly. If I want to prep 0.65, I can control that, creating this type of guides. And this is the final result. One more time, initial situation, design with the 2D app. We transform the 2D in a 3D. Then we place the mockup and the final result. One more time, predictability. That is one of the key parts. I am almost ready. I have 1 more minute, Ruben. So in the next slides, I just want to remember that I'm gonna be there in Dubai. It's not in India, but I think it's the closest place where we're going to be very soon. If you want to know a little bit more about this, in this case, it's gonna be a 3 full day course. We're going to present the full 3D workflow. It's an official course for a DSD member, so you are going to receive the certified of DSD member. We're going to explain very well each one of these workflows, how to design, how to order, how to promote, how to present the cases, all the strategies for the markup. So all the information we're going to give in this three full day course. And if you have any questions, I want to take a look of the question that I have here. But if you want to ask a little bit more, here is my Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram, so don't hesitate to write me a message. I always answer. I think we are ready. We have to go to digital technology. As I said, it's not an option. The patients are expecting this, so we need to offer this for them. I want to read some questions here. Can the impression be manipulated in intraoral scanner or in digital technology? Yes, Ruben.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can we take the questions in a moment, please?
Yes, of course. Go ahead. You are all right. You are the host. You are the boss.
Thank you, Dr. Lukin. Once again, thank you, Dr. Lukin, on behalf of Team DentistChannel.Online. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a fantastic session. I'm sure Dr. Lukin deserves our adjectives, would say fantastic, wonderful, lovely, the ones that we do usually. Come on, I need you to mention what you felt about the course. If you felt it was amazing, I want you to write it was an amazing session. If you felt it was a fantastic session, I want you to write it was a fantastic session. If you felt it was a lovely eye-opener presentation, I want you to write whatever you felt that it was worth attending this session. Come on. Thank you, Dr. Siddharth. Thank you, Dr. Nabil. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that gives us the motivation, and I'm sure Dr. Lukin would also appreciate all your thank you messages. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Like I promised you at the start of the program, I have a special announcement for you, and for that, quickly, I would like to request Dr. Lukin to kindly stop his screen share for a moment. Okay. And in the meanwhile, I'll also like to ask you to mention whatever questions you have with regards to today's session. We would be definitely covering them in a short while.
Okay, now I'm not sharing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's us, Dentist Channel. That's us, DentistChannel.Online, who's thanking you for attending this webinar. It was a pleasure to have you as our esteemed participants. I'm sure the presentation was a fun learning experience. Once again, like I promised, I'm going to tell you about the official DSD program. Dr. Lukin has already mentioned. It's an official DSD concept program, which will be held in Dubai in the month of October from the 8th to 10th. Now, there are many reasons for you why you should attend this program. The first one being that you get a chance to improve the smile design process and make your patients the co-author of their own smile. You also learn and develop a communication protocol that will enable an interdisciplinary approach to everyday dentistry. Well, that's the most important thing, because ladies and gentlemen, each and every one of you and I, we both know that digital dentistry is the future, and it will definitely be in the years to come. And for that, this is the course I'm sure you would not want to miss. And for that, I request you to register for the course. And very quickly, I'd like to give you a brief about what the course is also going to help you. It will also give you an perceived value, and consequently the rate of acceptance of patients through an emotional dentistry approach. That's also what you're going to learn during the 3-day program. You would also learn to how to integrate technology to generate efficient and predictable clinical procedures. Lastly, you would also get an insight on orofacial aspects of dentistry, and you also become an orofacial expert through the dynamic facial analysis and global diagnosis. Well, there's a lot in store for you if you register for this course. There's a short video I would like each and every one of you to see, so that you get an insight as to what the course is about. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've got a gist of what the presentation is going to cover. There's a lot in store for you at this course. So I'm sure you would definitely want to register for the course. And very quickly, I'd also like to tell you where the course is going to take place. The course is going to take place at Villa Fortuny Training Center. Most of y'all might be knowing Villa Fortuny Training Center. For those who don't know, it's a state-of-the-art, recognized, accredited institution based in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It's a Dubai Health Authority recognized institute, and is an institute which has covered several courses around the years, and they've all been successful courses. So here's a beautiful platform for you. At the same time, a recognized institute which is going to help you with the training aspect for this particular program. Coming to the main question, what are the course fees? The course fees are 1,500 US dollars plus an additional value added tax, which is 5%. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a special offer for you DCO Prime members, and that is that you get a free accommodation for 3 days if you attend this course. I'm sure you would definitely not want to miss this opportunity. For that, I want you to quickly register for the course by booking your seat at only 150 US dollars. So limited time offer, that is a 150 US dollar program course. By you can block your seat by paying 150 US dollars, and with you blocking your seat, you register and you confirm for the course. Well, that's it from my side. When as far as the course is concerned, you can get in touch with us if you want to know more. The course has been detailed and planned especially so that each and every concept of DSD would be covered during the 3-day tenure. Uh, There's a WhatsApp message here on your mentioned number. You can WhatsApp us if you want to know more about the course. Once again, an e-certificate of participation for attending this particular webinar would be given to our DCO Prime members. For that, you have to message us your name and the name of the webinar on the below mentioned WhatsApp number. Along with this, you can also WhatsApp us if you wish to register for the DSD concept program, which is going to take place in the month of October from 8th to 10th, from 8th to 10th October 2020. And this is about the next webinar. The next webinar would be taking place on 1st June, that is Monday at 11 a.m. Indian Standard Time. We have a prolific speaker. His name is Dr. Pavan Kumar, who's a publisher, who's an author, and who's an expert at platelet concentration. And the topic is platelet concentrations, the panacea of regeneration. I'm sure you would also want to register for this course. You can find the link to this course in the chat box. Once again, for the ones who are interested to register for the DSD program, can get in touch with us or can also look up to the chat box for the link to register for the course. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Lukin, for your time. We can now begin with the question and answer session.
Thank you, Romain. It's a pleasure. And it will be very nice for me if I can meet you in person there in Dubai. It's a beautiful city. I really want to be there. It's a great place. Villa Fortuny is this is going to be my second time that I'm going to give a course there. So hope to see you there. So let's see some questions here.
Thank you. So we start with the first question. This is a question from Dr. Mansi. Can the impressions be manipulated in intraoral scanners or in digital technology? If yes, how?
That's depend of what intraoral scanner you are using. But usually the intraoral scanner is just to scan, to have an STL. Then if you want to manipulate, we recommend to use software that are specialized for that, to manipulate, to design, to treatment planning.
Thank you very much, sir. Next question from Dr. Shreya. Roughly, what is the costing for single tooth in Indian rupees? Well, that's a difficult question.
Yes, it's a very hard question because, as I said, that's depend what type of treatment you want. You can only have an ideal and motivational design, or if you want a design for veneers, you want a design for orthodontics, or you want a full interdisciplinary treatment. So there are too many different type of the design. So the best way, if you want to know the price, you have to visit the dsdplanningcenter.com website. Is the Planning Center Lab. And you can see all the different options that we have and the different prices. So you can see each one of the prices. You can see a little bit more explanation about each one of the treatments. So dsdplanningcenter.com, all the information is going to be there.
Thank you very much, sir. Moving on to the next question. Dr. Lukin, it was a wonderful presentation. Could you please give us an insight a little more about the course that the moderator mentioned? Could you give an insight on the DSD program, sir?
Yes, of course. This is what we call the full program. It's a program where we are going to cover all the topics. Do you remember the red slide that I present you? Is that from the initial part that is marketing until the final part that is how to execute the treatment. We're going to explain how to design. We're going to use the DSD app. We're going to perform a smile design using the last technology. We're going to show you how to present the dental treatment to the patient to have to increase the case acceptance. We're going to have a live patient. We're going to place the mock-up, explaining all the tips and tricks how to place this mock-up to take the more advantages. We're going to take all the photo protocol, the emotional photos. We're going to order a case to the planning center. So it's a 3 very intense, hard days. We're going to explain everything that you need to start to implement DSD in your daily practice.
Thank you very much, sir. The next question is from Dr. Nikita. Could you please mention about the certification that we would be receiving after the end of the DSD concept program?
Yes, of course. The certification is the DSD member certification. It's a certification that can only be given by the official instructors from DSD. There are so many copycats all around the world that give courses about DSD, but they are not official. So the only official courses are the one that give you this certified, that is the DSD member. So now you are going to be part of our community. And the only ones that be able to give these certifies are the DSD instructors or the ones that are part of the company.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, as it's mentioned that it's an official program from a recognized institute and it's only the DSD instructors who can give you a certificate. So I'm sure you would definitely not want to miss this opportunity. Any more questions before we wind up the session?
Yes, I have some question that I already answered typing, but I want to read it. Shiva Khan is asking about the surgical interventions and perio interventions. So as you said, I think I already answered you with my presentation, but in the past, DSD was only aesthetics, no? DSD was only, or people think that DSD was only veneers. As I show you in my presentation, now DSD cover everything, all the topics. So if you want to do perio, you use DSD to guide your crown lengthening. If you want to do implants, you are going to use DSD to create the guides to guide perfectly the position of their implants. If you want to do orthodontics, DSD is going to guide where to move the tooth to be in the perfect position to be guided with the face.
Thank you very much, sir. I have a question before you move on to the other set of questions. Who are the course conductors? Yeah, sorry. Who are the course conductors for the DSD concept program?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, I'll repeat the question. Who are the course conductors for the DSD concept program?
I don't understand, sorry, the first part.
Yeah, how many course conductors, sir? Is it only you or do you have other speakers also?
No. We have many speakers all around the world. We have many DSD instructors all around the world. Basically, we are like 40 all around the world. Actively, we have like a 20. But the truth is that the ones that give the latest informations are Christian and I, because are the ones that are internal part that we are developing every day. But that's true. We have a KOL there in India, and he's part of the DSD key opinion leaders, but he's, I don't know if maybe he's doing courses or not. I'm not 100% sure. But definitely the last updates always gonna be the ones that are coming from the company.
Thank you very much. So I think that we come to an end of the question and answer session. Friends, we'll quickly be running a poll so that we understand a little more from you if you wish to attend this course and if you want to know more about the course. And for that, I'd request you to kindly answer to the poll questions. It's a simple poll.
Okay. Should I answer too?
Well, in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'd like to request you to attend Master himself, Dr. Lukin and his team would be covering each and every aspect, as he's already mentioned, right from marketing to execution during the 3-day DSD concept program. I'm sure you would definitely not want to miss the opportunity by listening to the masters. The course is going to take place in Dubai in the month of October from 8th to 10th. That is 8th to 10th October 2020. Villa Fortuny Training Center is the center where the course is going to take place. This is an accredited center that has been accredited by the Dubai Health Authority. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for attending this webinar and for being such a lovely audience. It was a pleasure to have you. And if you still have any questions, we would love to answer them all. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Lukin would love to see you in Dubai in the month of October. Please do register for the course. That brings us to the end of the live webinar. Once again, on behalf of Team DentistChannel.Online, I'd like to thank Dr. Lukin for the lovely presentation and for the fantastic cases that you've present. May you all have a good day. Goodbye, and we hope to see you soon for the next webinar. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you all for being with us. Bye-bye. It was a pleasure. Thank you.